All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. All right, first and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem Kakadash. All right, double honors to our apostles, the great millstone of well. All right, and peace and salutations to the elect, man. All right, shalom to you, friends of the prophets. All right, which consists of you, men, women, and children. Shalom to you. All right, Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem Kakadash, Barakadam. All right. So yeah, man, I'm coming back again through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua with another lesson. And pretty much I'm going to entitle this lesson, More Faith is Going to Be Required. All right, more faith is going to be required. Okay, all right. We are definitely coming into some trying times, man. You know what I mean? I can't stress enough how important, well, I'll say this, stress to myself first and foremost on, how important it is to be grounded, to be focused, reminding yourself what you're involved in as far as being in this truth. Okay, what's coming down the pipe and what's going to be required, from, the elect, as considering, these curtains closing on Babylon. Okay, so I know, I believe this past month, man, we've been hearing a lot about, Trump, and him trying to legally put out a decree that he wants to start deporting homegrown criminals, to El Salvador. All right, now when I hear that, the first thing that comes to my mind is persecution. Okay, and I'm gonna say this too, man, low key. All right, and even though it's not really put in the forefront, but best believe, brothers, these elite, man, see this blessed awakening. Okay, they're shook. Okay, and Salakia, they're shook, and they're really looking for the perfect opportunity to try to roll on brothers, man. And we already ready. We already know what's going. We already know what's up with it. We're already ready through the spirit. We know what's coming. They're pretty much shook right now. Well, they are shook, man. And when I hear Trump speak about these things, all right, it's the first thing that comes to my mind is persecution, man. All right, the things Yahushua said was gonna take place, on how the devil was gonna cast us into prison, that ye may be tried. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give you the crown of life. That's what comes to my mind, okay? Because I definitely believe that Esau, he's using certain situations, to combat, the brothers in the truth, man. You know what I mean? Because he's not gonna fully come out and say, or try to bring into the light this Israelite thing without demonizing it. Okay, all right, because this truth, first and foremost, is irrefutable. It can't be, it can't win against a debate. Okay, it's the truth. We are the Lord's chosen people. We're the Israelites. Esau's the wicked. Okay, America's going to be destroyed when the kingdom of heaven is set up. Esau's going to be in slavery under the Israelites. Okay, and Esau knows that. That's why the scripture says that he's going to come down with great wrath because he has a short time. So Esau knows that. Okay, Esau knows that he's going into slavery. Okay, and that's why he's doing what he's doing, because his whole goal is to disrupt prophecy, man. Okay? All right? And as the scripture tells you in the book of Revelation 11:11, how it says that great fear fell upon them that saw them. That's 100% truth, man. You know what I'm saying? All right? According to Yahweh Bashim Yahsha's movie, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going on in the minds of these elite right now, these Edomites. Okay? And now they're trying to find out how can they stop this. So, all right, going back to the main subject, you know what I'm saying, is Trump is trying to make it legal to pretty much deport homegrown criminals to El Salvador. Okay, that's what this man is trying to do. Okay, and whenever I hear that, I think of prophecy, man. Okay, I think of prophecy. I think of let me get that real quick. How Shai said about how the devil's gonna cast some of you into prison that you may be tried. Okay, so that has to happen. You know, that's part of prophecy. Okay, that has to take place, and we have to wrap our minds around that and be ready for it. And you know, once again, that's why I always tell myself, you know, the brother, you know, even in my videos, the scripture tells us too, no man that warreth entangleth themselves with the affairs of this life, but that he may please him that has called him to be a soldier. Because, you know, going through that scenario, man, of being tried, if you're not focused and you're not preparing yourself and you're caught up with the affairs of this life, that instant is gonna catch you unawares, man. Okay, and it's just something to be mindful about. You know what I'm saying? Something to be mindful about. Okay, if that situation does take place, we know what the scripture says, man. Or Yahweh Shai said to what? Be thou faithful unto death. Okay, nothing is gonna matter in that situation, but you maintaining your integrity in Yahweh Bashim Yahshai and keeping the faith, man. And once again, that's why you want to make sure that you're not entangled with the shit of this world, man. Okay, because it can make it harder for you to stand fast, man. All right. The scripture also says that don't be overcharged with the cares of this world. Okay, so once again, you know, that's coming down the pipe. You know, we know this. We should know it. Matter of fact, what did that say in Peter? It says that you were forewarned about the afflictions that were to come. So that's just my spill up on it. You know what I mean? Let me get a scripture. All right. 1 second. And this just reminds me of what Yahweh Shai said. As far as, you know, being rooted in this thing. All right, this is the book of Matthew chapter 7. All right, this is one of my favorite scriptures, man. Matthew 7:24. Okay. All right, it says, therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man which built his house upon a rock, man. Right, so, you know, hearing the sayings of Yahweh Shai, okay, understanding the blueprint, what's required, okay, as far as, you know, being followers of Yahweh Shai, okay, keeping the things that Yahweh Shai said in mind is something that a wise man would do, and it would be likened unto man that built his house upon a rock. Okay, or a rock represents foundation. Okay, so he's likening us under that. Okay, all right. It says, and the rain descended. All right, the rains represent what? The different oppositions, man, that you're gonna go through in this thing. Okay, the different battles. Okay, you could throw the wiles of the devil up in there. Satan trying to root you out of the faith. Okay, all right. It says, therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man which built his house upon a rock. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon that house, and it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock, man. So, once again, the rains and the floods, the wind, it represents the different oppositions, okay? The different trials you got to go in this thing to see how rooted you are, okay? And this particular situation where Trump is trying to deport, which, once again, looking at that spiritually, looking at what Yahushua said would take place as considering, his men, and as far as being thrown into prisons, that's a form of a tempest too, to try to uproot you. And he said what? To be thou faithful unto death. Okay? And also expecting this, that shows that what? Your house was founded upon a rock. Have it in your mindset that this could very well happen, and I got to keep the faith, and I got to go through it to maintain my integrity in Yahweh Bashim Yashai. Okay, that is that's going to be part of this walk, man. Okay. All right. It says, and the rains descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon the house, and it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock. So even when we find ourselves in that situation, okay, and we're getting through it, trusting in the Lord, okay, that's you being founded upon a rock, man. Not swerving, not being swayed by Esau trying to get you to take the MOTB to get out of that situation. No, our job is to maintain the faith, man. Okay. It says, and the rain descended, and the floods came, and the wind blew. Right, it said the floods came. It kind of remind me of the scripture where it says that the enemy shall come in as a flood. Okay. All right, it says, and the rains descended, and the floods came, and the wind blew, and beat upon that house, and it fell not, and it fell, and great was the fall of it. Okay, Salaki. Okay, I missed. Okay, Salaki. Verse 26. I'm sorry. 25 again. I'll read 25 again. It says, and the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon the house, and it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock. Okay, and everyone that heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them not shall be likened unto a foolish man which built his house upon a sand. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon the house, and it fell not, and it fell, and great was the fall of it. Right. And see, we don't want to be one of those individuals, and that's why on this grace period I can't stress enough to myself, or remind myself enough, okay, that you want to be using this grace period to also to get grounded, okay, to be fully persuaded, to be grounded, to build your faith up, to be grounded in these times. See, a lot of guys, they come into this truth and they see the glitz and the glamour, okay, the gimmicks, and they're coming in based off of that, but they're not they're not putting respect on Sirach, the 2nd chapter, okay, where it speaks about the different temptations and the different afflictions that you got to go through when you come to serve the Lord. They skip over that, okay, and they skip over the fact that, you know, when you come to serve the Lord, you're going to become an enemy to this wicked ass world, okay. Esau's going to see you behind enemy lines, okay. The bitterness that comes with serving Yahweh Bashim Yashai, and part of that bitterness is what? Is persecution, okay. All right, a lot of people don't they take heed of that, man. All right, and really, man, those are Yahweh Shai's words too, man. As far as Yahweh Shai spoke about bearing the cross, man. Okay, so it's a lot. My brothers had to make a U-turn. He spoke about bearing the cross, man. Okay, meaning when you come into this truth, man, you gonna suffer, man. All right, you're gonna suffer. You're gonna be hated. Okay, all manner of evil is gonna be spoken against you falsely. Okay, you're gonna feel like you're losing. Okay, but you're really winning. Okay, those are the that's the only way in. You know, that's the straight gate. Any other way is a thief and a robber, man. Okay, ain't no running from the straight gate. Okay, ain't no running for the persecution. And at the end of the day, brothers, what is the mission? The mission is the crown, man. The mission is to receive that crown. Ezra seen, okay, the men that stood stiffly for the name of Yahweh Bashim Yashai. And he was like, damn, man. Because of the things that certain brothers had to go through, certain brothers had to endure. And, you know, a part of that is being thrown into a prison, man. Now, I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but it's written. You know, once again, you know, Trump, and who knows, brothers, that El Salvador, it might be for brothers. Now, I believe the apostles has said something about how the wilderness is going to be somewhere in South America. I believe El Salvador it may be in Mexico or South America. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up real quick. Look that up real quick. El Salvador. It's in Central America, so that's in South America, I believe. Yeah, it's in Central. Yeah, El Salvador is in South America. Well, it's actually, yeah, it's right. Well, it's not in South America, but South America, it connects. What you got? El Salvador, Costa Rica, Panama, Medellin, and then you got, you know, Colombia and Ecuador and Venezuela, Cartagena, Aruba. But I remember the apostles speaking about how the wilderness may be in South America, man. Okay, so hey, brothers may get locked up in El Salvador. The Lord can send an angel, deliver us, and we'll be on the run, headed towards South America. I'm not saying that's how it's gonna be, but it very well may be. Okay. So hey, you know, we have to end this thing, man. It's gonna get bitter. Okay, it's gonna get bitter. We have to end this thing. We at the home stretch. Okay, we got to keep the faith. Okay, we got to keep the faith. We got to stay on the mission. Okay, and that's pretty much it, man. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna close it out there. I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bashim Yashai, Bashim Kakadash, brothers. Yes, it's gonna get bitter, but we have to keep the faith, man. Okay, so something to be mindful of. Okay, so I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bashim Yashai, Bashim Kakadash. Double honors to our apostles, the great Milson and Ruel, and shalom to the elect. Shalom, shalom, shalom.